Welcome to another edition of Dishin with Dave, joined by Fordham Director of Athletics, Dave Roach. Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks. Great to be here, Manny. Always great to sit and chat with you about Fordham Athletics, both of our favorite topic.
Right, and speaking of Fordham Athletics, we're back on campus, first week at it, football right around the corner, and then the rest of the sports follow.
Yeah, it was a quick summer. They seem to get shorter and shorter every year. A lot to do getting ready for the year, and always want to think about what we could do for our student athletes and everything. And really around August 1st, people started coming back, women's soccer, football, men's soccer, volleyball, cross country, and water polo. So we're off and running, and we're into the competitive schedule, and we'll be kicking off on Coffee Field in a couple of days.
Coming back on campus can be an anxious time, a stressful time for first-year students. What would be your advice to freshman student athletes starting out their tenure at Fordham Rams?
Well, for us, it's always been about the student athlete comes first. And it's really kind of exciting every year when you start. This is my 45th year doing this, to see the wide-eyed freshmen and to just kind of say to them, take a deep breath, ask questions. We're all here to help you. We're all here to guide you. And you've got a lot of teammates. And the neat thing about athletics is you come in as a freshman and you're a little nervous and everything, but instantaneously you've got X amount of friends who are your teammates who can give you some guidance, help you, and you can always turn to them and say, hey, what about this? What about that? Should I do this? So that's kind of the neat part, and kind of goes back to when my own children played sports in high school and everything. I always said it's a great way to get started in high school or college by being on a team and having a lot of fun.
You mentioned team building, relationships, football, 25 freshmen, 27 sophomores. What do you like about what that represents for football going forward in this season?
Well, I think that, first of all, I think Joe Conlon and his staff have done a heck of a job. Great recruiting year, and it means that whatever we do, we should have people around for a while. But when I look at this year's team, I think we're more talented and we're deeper, and hopefully that translates into a successful season and everything. But it does mean that we're going to be good for a while.
Sophomore quarterback Tim DeMorat set freshman records last year across the board at that position, and it helps when you're a team and you have such a youthful but aggressive and dynamic defensive unit, headlined by Glenn Cunningham coming back this year.
Yeah, when we kind of look at the depth and some of our outstanding players on defense, it bodes well for what's coming up. And I think with Tim having a year under his belt at quarterback now, offense should come alive and do some nice things. And we've got some really good young wide receivers and some returners who are really going to play a significant amount of time.
Shifting over to soccer, 2 years removed from an NCAA tournament run, and last year not too shabby either, competing for the Atlantic 10. New coach, Carlo Acquista, what have you seen from the soccer program for this season?
We're excited about what Carlo brings to the table and the team and the returners. Maybe a little bit different approach than Coach McElderry, but everybody's different. And there are many different ways to be successful and do things. So I think people will find that our brand of soccer might be a little bit more exciting to watch. We'll probably be a little bit more offensive minded, but when I go out and watch practice and see the dynamics and how our coaches and our student athletes interact, that's the important thing for me. And when that's going well, success comes.
When you see experience at Adelphi leading a program there, experience with an MLS organization in the New York Red Bulls, and Fordham now known for churning out professional soccer talent, was that such the attraction where that was the ideal candidate for you?
It's a great mix. And with Carlo's connections, and he's very well known in the region and throughout the nation, I think it bodes well for the type of student athlete we're going to be able to bring in here to play soccer and everything. So it's a great combination.
Horowitz taking over the cross-country, track and field reins. What stuck out to you with him? He's been on the staff for multiple years and kind of helping out, recruiting the program. Is that kind of what brought him to that fold?
Yeah, when Coach Dewey decided to retire after, I guess it's almost 40 years, terrific guy, did a great job here. He essentially is kind of, Fordham cross country and track and field and everything. Brian was part of that staff. Brian did a great job of kind of complimenting Coach Dewey and kind of recruiting and being a younger person for the student athletes to go to. But when we interviewed people, clearly the passion and the love of Fordham and cross country and track and field came through. And Brian's building a really nice staff, so it's an exciting time for our track and field program and our cross country programs.
When you look at someone like Brian, do you give any advice as to how to succeed someone who's meant so much to this campus and kind of just to be yourself?
I mean, I say to any coach, whether it's succeeding somebody who's been here for a long time or not, you got to coach within your own personality. And sometimes people make the mistake, they're an assistant for somebody and they think they need to be like them. Or they hear about some terrific coach and, you know, if we're looking at football, do I need to be like Vince Lombardi? There's only one Vince Lombardi. So I always say to people, coach within your own personality. And when I coached myself, one of my last teams at Tennessee, I had 35 swimmers. And I said to them all the time, I can only coach within my personality. You've all come from different programs. I can't be exactly what your coach was like where you came from. So my advice to Brian and any new head coaches, coach within your personality, be your own person, and do it the way you want to do it.
Women's soccer coming off a successful above 500 season. What's the next step for that program? I'm sure you'd love to see an NCAA tournament.
Well, we'd like to win the A10 title. That'll get us there and everything.
Right.
But I think Jess Clinton has done a great job, put together a really good group. Tough 2 games to start the season, playing Tennessee and Rutgers, and now we're into our non-conference schedule, Manhattan, tomorrow night and everything. So we'll kind of get that going, and then, I mean, it's so tight in the A10. You never know. I mean, you could be 5th or 6th, go to the tournament and win and everything. So, but we're looking forward to what's going to happen this year.
Any updates on the progress of the Rose Hill Gym?
Yeah, the Rose Hill Gym is coming along really well. I'm in there just about every day. The floor's down. They're putting the walls back up on the sides. They'll start sanding the floor and getting ready to put all the printing down probably in about 2 weeks. So it's on track. We should be able to really probably move in there with practice for men's and women's basketball and volleyball games somewhere around October 10th.
Football starts with CCSU, then heads over to Ball State. What are you most looking forward to for the season, from your perspective?
Well, I mean, as I said a little while ago, we're probably a little bit more talented than last year. Not probably, we are. And we're deeper and we have more depth. And our student athletes kind of know what to expect from Coach Conlon and his staff. So you just want to make incremental progress, and we'll take it from there.
Anything else you'd like to add for the Fordham fan?
Well, the Rose Hill Gym we're excited about, and it's been a tough summer with not having it, but I think at the end it'll really pay off and it'll look good, and the floor is going to be terrific, and the surrounding things will look a little bit different, so that's a plus.
Dave, it's always great to dish with you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, Manny. Good to see you.